Ladies and gentlemen, the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey just came out and is showing inflation expectations are getting entrenched. This is very bad news for this market that seems to really disregard bad news. Markets are reacting pretty negatively here today to this, especially the NASDAQ. Notice for any of you guys that are broad market traders, you're willing to make money in different trades in different areas of this market. The NASDAQ, this is the first day the NASDAQ is underperforming the S&P Dow or the Russell 2000, a change of trend, whereas the NASDAQ has been basically outperforming every single day. Now, as you guys see from the title of this video, some people are expecting Amc stock to rally over $9 per share. They claim this is what the technicals are saying and supporting. So we're going to get into that, and I think that is very exciting for all of us that are invested in AMC, that want to see some of those sweet, sweet dollar hollers. But on top of that, we're going to get into kind of what's going on a broad basis, right? The Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, as well as AMC stock, because those cost to borrow fees just are so stubborn, and a lot of them are even going higher here today. So we got a lot to talk about. The work is cut out for us here in this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Now, first things first, AMC stock down about 2.22%. But if we go ahead and take a look at the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, it was pretty bad. Now, this survey has been going on for a long time now, and it's the most well-respected survey on Wall Street, right? And this, 1966, this survey started, it looks like. So it's been going for a long time, and it tends to pretty well foreshadow certain things. Inflation being one, economic conditions weakening, right, being another one, and a couple other different, points in this survey. Now, the headline survey number, you were expecting in between 63 and 64. It came in at 57.7. So sentiment is definitely getting worse, which is surprising and really doesn't make sense because the stock market's going higher. Real estate, people are starting to say, is bouncing, right? In certain markets is getting a little bit better. Why is the consumer sentiment getting so much worse? Last reading was 63.5. You dropped almost 7 points just month over month. That's pretty negative. But inflation expectations for the 1 year out, you were expecting 4.6%. Well, it looks like 4.6%. We didn't have a consensus estimate, but it came in at 4.5%. So down a little bit from the last reading that we got. But the last reading we got was a huge jump from 3.6% to 4.6%. So this is not necessarily a good sign. It's more or less showing that this was not a fluke reading that we got last month at 4.6%. It's 4.5% again. Very high, and not just a mix-up of the data or just a random group of surveyed people that were, more or less concerned about inflation. Now, this is the worst part. This is really the bad part. Michigan 5-year inflation expectations, because the Fed has talked about over and over and over again, inflation expectations are well anchored. You've heard that probably 50 times if you've listened to Fed Jerome Powell over the last year. Well, it's because of this. This is what they were citing, right? Is the 5-year inflation expectations. Well, that just hit 3.2%. Last reading, it was 3%. The reading before that, it was 2.9%. So you are seeing a sharp increase in the 5-year inflation expectations. Most people expect them now at 3.2%. That's very negative. This is the highest that we have been throughout this whole rate tightening cycle. The 5-year inflation expectations, here's the chart over the last 5 years. You've hovered at about 3%. At some points, you've fallen more, like middle of 2022. But now you're hitting the highest level. And this is really the big question. After 525 basis points of Fed rate hikes, after a banking crisis that has taken down 3 of the top 25 banks in America in just weeks, is leading to inflation expectations going higher. Shouldn't that mean inflation expectations should go lower? Well, a sign inflation is starting to get entrenched in people's minds. So very, very bad news that we're seeing today. Markets did react quite negatively, but it wasn't a huge reaction overall. Now, I will tell you right now, the next thing you want to watch for, even today, you're not going to be able to do much about this. It is going to be the Fed speakers. So coming in at 7:45 p.m., you're going to get Fed Jefferson and Fed Bullard that speak. If they acknowledge inflation expectations starting to look unanchored, you're going to have a problem, okay? That's the next biggest thing that can and likely will move this market. Obviously, the debt ceiling holds more precedence. We kind of got good news yesterday about this. I guess it looks like the meeting for Biden, McCarthy, McConnell, and Schumer is being delayed. So a lot of people are saying that's good news, because if it's being delayed, then maybe they're fixing their proposals. Maybe they're thinking about coming to an agreement, things of that nature. So we got a little bit of good news last night, and that's what kind of held the markets in the green today. And then boom, you get spat on by the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey. And markets are pretty flat right now, but holding down just a little bit, guys. So there you have that. Let's dive into AMC stock and let's talk about this. And I just came across this on the Newswire. It says AMC Entertainment Holdings pivots trading plans and risk control. It says buy AMC slightly over $4.80 per share. Target $9.64 per share. Stop loss at $4.79. The technical summary data tells us to buy AMC near $4.80 per share with an upside target of $9.64 per share. This data also tells us to set a stop loss at $4.79 per share to protect against excessive loss in case the stock begins to move against the trade. $4.80 per share is the first level of support below $5.27 per share, and by rule, any test of support is a buy signal. In this case, support at $4.80 is being tested. A buy signal would exist. Okay. The technical summary data is suggesting a short of AMC as it gets near $9.64 per share with a downside target of $4.80 per share. We should have a stop loss in place at $9.67 though. $9.67 is the first level of resistance above $5.27. And by rule, any test of resistance is a short signal. In this case, if resistance is $9.64, it's being tested, a short signal would exist. So basically, let's break that down in a little bit more English. They're saying that if AMC falls, let's go ahead and pull up the chart, falls to about $4.80 per share, you buy AMC for an upside target of $9.64 per share. Or if AMC goes against that and continues to move higher or stays flat, then you should look to buy AMC stock at about $5.27 per share and target $9 per share. That's a pretty bold projection. And it's from ACI Information Group. And this just came out literally like 29 minutes ago. So pretty interesting. I mean, I'll take a bullish prediction over a bearish one. Not to mean that's actually going to be, the base case or that's what's going to happen. That's a different story, but I think it's encouraging. Now, the court date is going to be the next, or not even the court date, but the next update from the courts we get, which could come at any time, is going to be the next biggest thing that will move AMC stock. Forget The debt ceiling, forget any of that in regards to AMC. All of that stuff is important, but the thing that's going to cause AMC stock to move like 20-30% in a day, up or down, is any update from the courts. Now, we have not gotten an update from the courts in quite a while, so it looks like an update is overdue, and I'm really curious what the special mastery is going to do or want the courts to do based off of shareholder letters that have been submitted. I think it's probably going to be some form of revote of common stockholders, something along those lines. Is kind of my base case scenario. But do I really care ultimately what happens? No. I think if, the courts shut down AMC, well, sooner rather than later, you're going to get a short squeeze. If the reverse split goes through and AMC raises a lot of capital, well, the short squeeze is still going to happen. So I really don't think there's a wrong answer here. It just depends kind of what your theory is and what you hope to see happen. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the live estimated short interest of free float, that is sitting at almost 25%, 128 million shares that are currently sold short. If we take a look at the cost to borrow fees, cost to borrow average up from 206% yesterday to 229% today. Cost to borrow max up from 281% yesterday to 357% here today, and cost to borrow minimum from 0.59% yesterday to 160.5%. So cost to borrow fees are going a lot higher here today, right? And it does say you have about 1 million shares currently available from Interactive Brokers to actually be lent out. So there are some of the numbers we're getting. The option activity, I'll tell you right now, the big story of yesterday was large orders, huge orders that were coming in. Some of them, I mean, this one was 2 million, 1.5 million, right? 4 million, 3 million, all in single orders. 1.25 million, 1.9 million, 1.2 million, 1.6 million, 1 million, 1.5 million, 1.2 million. Another $1.2 million order. All of those came in yesterday, and they were deep in the money. So what hedge funds were actually doing is they were shorting AMC by artificially shorting AMC, by buying puts that were so deep in the money, they caused market makers to go out and short stock. And I think you're likely still seeing some residual effects from that, just because market makers, they don't always short everything all at once. They can kind of average into it, right? And that's probably what is helping to push AMC stock down about 3% right now. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at the days to cover, that is actually increasing, now sitting at about 5. Utilization at 100%. The free float out on loan at about 32% as well, in about $684 million worth of short positions currently on AMC stock. So there you have it. Not too much has actually happened so far here on the day. Really nothing. I mean, there's smaller data points here and there, but you're really not getting anything that is moving the markets in a huge way. Tesla, they did raise prices for all of its vehicles except the Model 3, and you also got that news last night that Elon is stepping down as CEO of Twitter, and that has a lot of people excited when it comes to Tesla. And Tesla is about 4% of the NASDAQ, so that is helping things out just a little bit. Bits of news here and there. Bonds are actually falling by about 0.5% today. I'm actually looking at it on the screen over there. Falling about 0.5% right now for the 7 to 10 year bond. That is EF is the ticker for that if you guys want to look at it. When bond prices fall, bond yields go higher. So this data today from Michigan, the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey, this is done from Michigan University, the college, right? And I actually live in Michigan too, so quite ironic. It's causing bond yields to go higher because people expect inflation to be higher, and that will make bond yields higher. Now, this affects technology typically the most. This affects your high growth areas. So that's also a negative factor currently weighing on AMC. AMC down about 3.28% right now. And it looks like Ooh, it looks like we are flirting with the 50-day moving average of $5.14 per share. AMC stock is at $5.16 per share. You are under the 100-day moving average, but watch for a retracement to the end of the day to close above that 100-day moving average. We found some pretty solid support at the 100-day moving average just yesterday. If that continues, that is kind of what you want to see happen. You don't want to see a close under the 50-day moving average, guys. So that is going to do it here for this video. We have a lot of other topics to cover in other videos, so stay tuned for those. In the meantime, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. If you guys also want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video as well. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.